This is throttle position sensor testing, and we have a throttle position sensor here, and we also have a multimeter, and I'm going to show you how to test that. But first, let me show you a few components. This whole piece in here is called a throttle body, and that throttle body has several components on it. One of them is the throttle itself. When you put your foot on the gas pedal, inside there's a cable comes around and turns this lever, and as this shaft turns along with the lever right through here, this valve opens and closes. It allows more air to go in and less air to go in as you move your foot. It goes all the way across. You can see there's a shaft goes right through and attaches over here to the other side to the throttle position sensor itself. We're just going to zoom in a little bit on that throttle position sensor. You can see that we have three little tabs here going into the throttle position sensor. One will be the 5-volt signal. The other one, another one will be a ground, and one will be a 5-volt reference voltage from the computer. So we're just going to, I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this with the multimeter. We're going to have two leads. One will be right here, and this will be the red or the positive lead. And then I'm going to put the other one here, and this is the black or the negative lead. And I'll just draw them and explain what we'll be doing here. So we are not sure exactly what these leads are. We can figure it out from the wiring diagram, but we don't necessarily need to do that. Let's just figure it out by doing some testing. First thing we'll do is we'll turn on our multimeter, and we'll make sure we're set over here to the ohms position, because we're going to read resistance in this case. And then we're going to take our red lead, and we're just going to attach it over here. When we do that, and then we take our negative lead, and we're going to attach it to the next one. I'm not even sure which is which. And then I'm going to go over, and we're going to rotate the throttle. And as we rotate the throttle, we should see something going on up here. We should see a change in resistance. If we can't see a change in resistance, then we've got the wrong two. And so then probably what I would do is I would move my black one. Let's reconnect our positive. And probably going to move my black lead or my negative lead to this side. And then I open my throttle up and see if I get a change in resistance. If I don't, then I'm going to take this black lead, and instead of having it, we're going to leave the black lead there actually, and we're going to move the red lead. I'll just draw the red one in. The red lead is going to lead to here. And one of those three options should get us so that we get a change in resistance. Now our change in resistance, it could vary by the vehicle and by the type of sensor, but what we want to do is not necessarily the numbers. That doesn't matter so much as to see when we open and close the throttle, what happens. And so what I want you to do is open and close the throttle and see what the numbers are going to look like. Make sure we also take note of this little corner on this side here where it will tell us what the units are. And so we all just assume that it's going to be ohms, but it could be milliohms or whatnot too. So just take note of that when you go write in your results on your paper. What we want to do is open and close this, take note of closed throttle, half throttle, and wide open throttle. And then, once we're done that, we're just going to let it close all the way, and then slowly, quite slowly, it should take you probably a half a minute to totally open the throttle. And as you open the throttle, you're going to watch the numbers climb, 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 climb. As the numbers go up, 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 you want to notice for any part in there where all of a sudden it zips down to where it reads zero flow. And that means there's no continuity. If there's a flash of zero flow, that means we have a spot right inside of the throttle position sensor that's a dead spot, and that means that it won't be reading there and that will be trouble for the engine because it's not going to know how much air is going in.